Welcome to a Magicavoxel tutorial. In this series, I will cover the basics of Magicavoxel as well as the steps I took to get to where I am now. With that, let's go ahead and get started. So, opening up Magicavoxel, you have your basic cube that forms, as well as a palette on this side, brushes here, edit feature, and where your projects are saved. So starting from left to right, we have the palette, and this is where you can choose between either a preset of colors or make your own colors. By default, it's set to palette 0, which is this palette here. And to select the color, all you do is just click on that set color by left mouse click. So let's say I want to select this green. I have it selected. If I go over here, you can see I'm not placing the color because by default, when you open Magicavoxel, it's set to box mode and to erase. So to fix that, all you have to do to paint with this color is select this, paint voxels, and anything that you do not know, let's say I hover over this, and if you look at the bottom of the screen right here, where it shows the console, right here shows what that said thing does. So if we go back here, paint, it says paint voxels, and there is a bracket with a corresponding keybind, and that is the hotkey for that command. So if I didn't want to click this, I just press G, and you can see it selects the paint feature. So if I left click now, you can see I am painting with that selected color. Okay, let's say so you want to paint, but you don't want to paint in this weird fashion where you are selecting like a rectangle. You just want to free paint. You can go over here and select this dot, which is voxel mode. And now if I left click and drag my mouse, you can see I have a lot of freedom in what I can paint. If you want to paint entire layers, you don't have to use this box mode either. And by doing this one by one, you can instead select this, which looks like a floor with an arrow going up. It stands for face mode. If I click this and left click once, you can see it paints the whole face. If I left click drag down, it continually paints until I let go or until I reach the bottom of an object. So now I have this green block. Let's go ahead and mess around with it some more. In the brush settings, starting with this, it's geometry mode. This basically gives you the ability to make lines, boxes, and circles. So right here, down here, you can see it selects the line. And if I left click drag, you can see it creates lines. If I do not want the line to follow along like a edge, so for instance, if I make a line that starts from here and ends here, and I try to do that with this selected, it looks like it's doing that. However, it's actually going along the planes. And if you do not want that, you just turn this off. Now if I do it again, see it's going, basically making a beeline from one point to the other. With the square mode selected, you can probably guess it creates a square that's symmetrical to wherever you placed it. If I want to see where the center is, because I want to add something, I just turn that off, where it says fill. Now you can see where the center is. So now if I wanted to add something right here, I know exactly where the center is. The exact same thing can be said with the circle tool in geometry mode. It creates a symmetrical circle. If I want to know where the center is, just like the square, just deselect fill, and now I know where the center is. Right below the geometry mode, this dot right here, we already covered it a little bit, voxel mode. If I go ahead and select the attach tool and just left click drag, you can see it creates one block voxels freely, just wherever I move my mouse. If I wanted to increase the voxel size, I can just go right here where it says voxel, and by either dragging the slider up or pressing the plus and minus keys on your keyboard, you can increase the voxel count. So now you can see I am placing a 5x5 voxel instead of a 1x1 voxel. This can be adjusted too. So if I wanted to make it a block, you can see now it's a block. It was previously selected on the circle. And if you don't want to make it 3D, you just select 2D, and now it's two-dimensional. Going to the face mode, which is this right here, it basically allows you to create faces with one click, or if you left click drag, continually create faces until you stop. This is much more convenient than the box mode, which I'll show in a bit, because it's just ease of simplicity. You can create just whole planes in just one click. That can be pretty useful. With box mode selected, if I wanted to do that with the exact same method with the plane, I would have to left click one side and drag it all the way to the other. And you don't really get that flexibility with the box mode as you do with the plane tool. In the sense, if I wanted to drag this plane all the way up to here, because then you have to drag from one side and drag up to the other. Box mode is really useful for just creating like boxes that you can see. And depending on where you put the cursor, it creates the various shapes. So now if I want to just create a line, you can do that with box mode too. Just go to one side of the edge. Or if I select another color and left click drag, you can see it also creates a line like that. And box mode is good for making like indents in your thing that face mode cannot. So for instance, if I left click drag here, the erase tool, you can see it creates an indent. Face mode does not have this feature. Instead, it deletes the entire face rather than make an indent. So box mode can be particularly useful for that. Regarding this button here, Voxel Shader Mode, I highly recommend you guys to watch my Magicavoxel shader tutorial first, because I cover that more in depth. However, I'll do my best to explain the basics here. So with this selected and the attach mode selected, if I left click and drag, you can see there's another box and it's creating something inside. This can vary depending on what shaders you have installed. And to check what shaders you have installed, you go over to this tab here, all the way to the right. By default, I think it's set to this file explorer. If you want to see what shaders you have, you select this. And if you see this symbol is also the same symbol as this. So if I go here, you can see these are shaders I have installed. And if I select one of them, let's say I select a rope and I delete this, you can see it's basically generating a rope, and you can determine the size and shape of this shader with these arrows here. And usually there are arguments that you can change here to customize said shader. So for instance, if I have this selected and I change the radius, you can see it's changing the shader in real time. One thing to note is if I left click drag out like that and I want to change this, there's no way to do that. So it is important that when you want to change the settings that are here, you need to, once you create the shader like this, do not click anywhere in this working space. You go directly over here and change the thing here. And if you want to reset, so for instance, if I changed it to that and I don't remember what the default was, select this undo button here, and that should reset all your arguments to the default value. Voxel shader mode can also be useful in deleting complex areas. So with this object I made here with the erase tool selected, left click drag, you can see it's deleting something. And if I create a cross section here, you can see it erased this inner part where it should be a rope. Because I put it on erase, it erased that part instead of attaching it. So you can do stuff like that and make really cool objects with the erase tool on the voxel shader mode. This star icon, which is pattern mode, is also quite a advanced feature. If I go over here, you can see there's a star icon. I select that and I go to, for instance, some assets I made. And you go click this. You can see that pattern mode is trying to place said object. So let's say I make an object, for instance, this cube. If I save it, the cube, depending on what I call it, will show up in this folder where it says pattern. And you won't have all these, like, you won't have all these. This is my work. But for instance, if I go to where I saved, so I created this right here. Where is it? I created this before. And if I go to pattern mode and I click attach, you can see I can just easily place what I created earlier from a previous voxel save into this object right here. So I don't have to manually create it one by one. I can just plop it down like so. If I want to change the colors of anything, let's say I want to change the trees, the leaves, I can just go over and select paint and select region replace and then choose whatever color I want. So maybe I want some of them to be a darker blue. I can select one of those colors and just left click one of the trees, and you can see it applies it to all of the colors that are this color. If I do not want that, I can just click this button here, connected region. And now if I click one of the colors, it just fills the color that, as long as it's not connected to another blue, it won't fill the other blue. So I can just click here and there, and I can select another color and give it some more variety. Let's say you created this scene right here, and you're ready for some pictures, and you want to make it look really nice. Click this button here where it says render, and now you can see a progress bar loading your scene, as well as a completely different UI on this side and on this side. I really encourage you to just experiment with what all these settings do. And if I just tell you every single item in this rendering window, the video will be very long. And the real fun of Magicavoxel, at least for me, was just messing around and seeing what things do. For instance, if I didn't know what this did, I just increase it. And you can see it's making the sun brighter. And if I was to go to free mode, which is down here, try to find the sun, you're like, where's the sun? Select this button here, which is atmospheric scattering. It just basically creates a rendition of the sky, and you're still looking for the sun. You can see it's right there. However, it looks very faint, and that's because this button right here, sun, is not selected. Select that. Now you can see the sun. And now if I adjust this, you can see it's decreasing or increasing the brightness of the sun. If I go to this, if I want an orthogonal type of view, I just select this button here, and right-clicking the mouse pans the camera. If I want to center my camera on this object, I can just go to model, press tab, or this arrow button here to enter this world view. And then you press 5 on your keyboard, and that centers the camera onto your object. I believe if you select this button too, it also recenters the camera. So this button right here recenters the camera, or pressing 5 on the keyboard. Now if I go back to render, you can see the camera is panning on my object, and even left clicking. So like what I meant by like experimenting is like you can even just left click in this scene. You can see it is creating a depth of field effect on my scene. So really do experiment in Magicavoxel. It's what makes it really fun for me, at least, and I highly encourage you guys to do that. That pretty much wraps up the contents of this video. In the next one, I'll probably show you how to change your palette and select your own colors, as well as a more in-depth of the modeling. I'll actually start creating some models that you guys can probably do as a beginner, as well as some questions and some tips on how you can improve your work in Magicavoxel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in that next video.